My hair's sort of going to do what it's going to do. Also, nail appreciation. They were a choice, and I stand by them. Well, hello. I am Erika. I am odd. I want to state it right now. There's a thunderstorm rolling in. You're going to hear some rain. And you want to know what? I'm going to put rain in the backdrop of this music just so we can have the ambiance of it all. My power goes out. You bet your ass I will have my phone flashlight on so fast and finish this video. I am working hard to finish next week's Halloween super spooky special treat of a video that I'm very excited about, but I of course didn't want to miss a week of spooky season, and I thought, what is spookier than urban legends? I don't think I really ever talked about urban legends outside of maybe them being mentioned in a scary movie here or there. And my state of Illinois has a lot of spooky urban legends, believe it or not. I know the spookiest thing about Illinois is the fact that they tax literally everything, but we're gonna focus on the urban legends because it might not be true. The taxation thing we know is true, but these, they may or may not be true. But we're gonna talk about them and come to our own conclusions together, shall we? One of the most common urban legends in Illinois is actually one that sort of travels from college campus to college campus, and it is originated apparently at University of Illinois, but if you go to EIU or WIU or SIU or really any sort of college in Illinois, they're going to tell you the same story, which is that it's not always an English building, but sometimes it's like a certain dorm, or it's the gymnasium, or it's the library from the third floor. The room kind of differs, but the story stays relatively the same. So usually this how the story goes, the gist of it. So the legend goes it's a young woman from back in like the 60s or 70s that was so distraught over an unwanted pregnancy that she decided to unalive herself. Some people say that the father of the child actually is the one that unalived her and made it look like self-inflicted harm. That is the only consistent part really of the legend. Depending on the school you're at another college, I forget which one it was, but she had jumped from the third story library. So it kind of depends what school you're at, but the big urban legend around all these schools is that there is a young woman haunting the halls who had an unwanted pregnancy and couldn't live with herself, or the boyfriend or father of the child did not want to live with the consequences of his actions. That is probably the number one urban legend at every college in Illinois. The next one I want to talk about is someone called Homie the Clown. Now, if you are a fan of the show In Living Color, like I am, you will know that Homie the Clown was actually a sketch on In Living Color that was hilarious. Homie, don't play that. Like, let's be real, it was comedy gold. But apparently there is an urban legend specifically around Chicago called Homie the Clown. Now, the legend of Homie the Clown in Chicago originated around 1991. Now, as far as Homie's urban legend goes, basically it was a man dressed in a clown suit driving around in a van trying to lure kids into the van and taking them, and the children were never seen again. I'd say it's a pretty typical urban legend, and it's especially one that I think that the people of Chicago would tell their kids to get them home at night before it got dark. It's sort of like, be sure you get home by dark or else Homie the Clown will get you. I feel like maybe that's where it got momentum, but there has never actually been a proven case of Homie the Clown in Chicago by police or by news stations, but there are people that swear up and down to this day that it was real. Do I know if it's real or not? I have no clue. I was born in 95. But do I think it's totally plausible that there's a creepy dude driving around in a van trying to lure kids in dressed as a clown, and he split town once the rumor of him got sort of up and going through neighborhoods and he knew that it was not going to be a good spot for him? Sure, totally. John Wayne Gacy, great example of somebody who can be a serial killer clown. Just saying. The next one we will be talking about is Hull House. That's right, Hull House. This is a more of a popular one, and it's a little bit more famous than the other urban legends. Apparently, this is a Rosemary's Baby situation where a woman gave birth to a child that was half human, half devil. The mother, of course, was so disgusted by the child that she chose to abandon it. It is reported that Jane Addams of the Hall House chose to raise the child in the attic, caring for it, but the child did die at a very young age. But it is said that to this day, if you go visit Hall House and you take photos of the attic and in the attic, there sometimes will appear a child with a devil-like face. This is one of the urban legends that I think maybe is just like a haunting, sort of told differently. I think back in the day, a lot of people that had children maybe born with certain deformities and didn't understand what they were, sort of let the idea that the devil had a hand in their child's deformities get to their head, which if the child was born with certain deformities or a certain disease or a certain condition or something like that that would cause them to die at a young age, that would be a very plausible explanation. We also know about disappointment rooms, where basically families would put children that were considered a disappointment, i.e. they had deformities, birth defects, mental issues. That's where the child went and stayed and probably eventually died, which is very sad. I think, in my opinion, that is the case of this. But if people are capturing little devil children running around, I never rule out the possibility that something evil is able to spawn with a human. Who knows? And the last urban legend that we will be talking about is a Devil's Gate in Libertyville. This is a little bit more of a famous tale. I 100% believe that this has happened or something similar to this has happened in regards to Devil's Gate. The story, again, because it's an urban legend, it gets told many different ways, but the legends go it was either a camp counselor, a warden at a psych ward, or a principal at an all-girls boarding school took 4 people behind the stone gate of Devil's Gate and brutally murdered them. Just because the story kind of is lost in translation, I think that we can take away from it that an authority figure unalived 4 people, and now it is said to be haunted by their spirits, and you can see ghostly apparitions and hear disembodied voices. Now, part of this legend that if you're a little bit squeamish, this next part might bother you, but it is said that after the murders took place, the killer did decapitate the 4 young women, because in most stories it is 4 young women, and decided to skewer their heads on top of the iron bars on top of the Devil's Gate. Now, I will say, if you look this up, in 1990 when the Blair Witch Project became popular, some kids did try to go there and investigate, and they got in trouble. It is a forest preserve, but I don't know if it's open to the public. It's sounding like it's not so far. But in 2002, the body of a 34-year-old woman was actually found in the forest preserve. Her husband was charged with the murder, so that is an actual death that took place there. So it's not to say the Devil's Gate doesn't have like true murder recorded at it, but the urban legend has never been proven to be true. But it kind of wouldn't surprise me, especially back then. Chicago was extremely corrupt. There was barely death records for anything way back in like the early 1900s when this is supposedly all going down as far as the 4 girls being murdered. So could somebody have covered it up? Absolutely. But like with most urban legends, we will never know. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you're enjoying spooky season. Next week will be an amazing video. I'm telling you right now, I'm so excited about it. It's gonna be so great. I have had the footage for months, and I'm so happy that you guys can finally see it. Please let me know in the comments down below what videos you would like to see for November and going into the holidays. Let me know your thoughts about these urban legends. Let me know about any urban legends that you've heard about your state. It doesn't have to be Illinois. It can be anywhere. I love a good urban legend. Let me know any of those. I'm always super curious. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.